Guys, welcome back. I just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on the Camaro 2-liter. Get it? 2 cents, 2-liter. That's a pun. So, I met up with another member of the Camaro community. He has a new 6th gen Camaro, and he has the 1LT package. And he got the 2-liter engine, which I have not experienced yet. I drove the V6 before I got the V8. I've obviously smashed a bunch of miles on the V8, loved it. But what's the 4-cylinder like? What's the Camaro that seems to be the real black sheep of the family? A lot of people love it. Like, they absolutely love the 2-liter. But most people are, real traditionalists. It's like, well, if it's not a V8, it's not a Camaro or what. So what is the scoop? How does it compare? What is it like? And I was really shocked because I obviously do have a 2SS with the LT1 engine, and I actually learned a few things about my car from the 2-liter. So I have 18-inch wheels with winter tires, and he had 18-inch wheels with winter tires. He had a Bridgestone Blizzak, which is, I think his tires were a little wider than mine. I think he's running a 245 wide, and I'm running the 225 wide. So he'll have a little better grip than me, and the Bridgestones are a little better tire than the Firestones. But to go out and drive the cars, we drove on some pretty windy roads that I wasn't overly familiar with, but he was, and so he had some fun in his car, obviously in Mexico, because where else would you drive spiritedly? But how did they compare? Like, I followed him, from point A to point B, and he followed me from point B back to point A. So going there, I actually was finding it somewhat challenging to keep up with them. I really had to be into it and get the car going. Now, obviously, when you hit the straights, I just mow everything. It caught him no problem, and it was vice versa when we were in the windy twisties. And please note, I am not driving excessively fast. I am not trying to set some sort of land speed record. I'm just spirited driving, and he was on me. Like, no questions asked. He was on me. His car took the corners. It did everything. He does not have magnetic ride. He does not have, all the fancy gizmos that this car has. But his car was very, very quick. There was absolutely no doubts about that. I went for a drive in it with him. It was the 6-speed manual, and I'm not good at manual. I can drive a manual, but I'm not good at it. I've never done it on the daily, so it's not something I've ever perfected, so I chose not to drive it. Now, I will at some point drive it, I have no doubt, but that day we're in a hilly area, and that I wasn't feeling that great. I was like, you know what, probably not the best idea to take somebody else's car out. But I did let him drive mine, and, get a feel for that, and all that. And I mean, even he was a little bit shocked, because this car is heavier. It is, I think, 300 or 400 pounds heavier. But to him, it didn't feel any heavier. It was the same car, and for me, it was the same car. The seats, because he has the cloth seats, they were just as comfortable as the leather. He doesn't have heated and cooled seats, but as far as comfort, support, shape, they are just as good, just as comfortable. I was very, very pleased with the seating and everything to do with that. And the car just feels as good inside as this one does, which was very, very nice. It's nice to see that no matter what you buy, if you buy the 2-liter, the 3.6-liter V8, or if you V6, or the 6.2-liter V8, like, there's no wrong car. It's just what does it do for you. Now, one thing I was concerned about and curious about is fuel economy. A lot of people will buy the 2-liter because it is a smaller motor, it's going to burn less gas. Fuel economy was really, really close. His highway best for 100 kilometers was 8.6 liters per 100. Let me just pull this up here, just so I'm not guesstimating, because I want to give you guys real facts and real 8.5 is my best. So our best on the highway is the same because I do have the cylinder deactivation. So if you're doing like long haul stuff, there isn't a big difference between the two. Now his average was 9.7, which is obviously mine's 15.6 for the last 100 kilometers. But I was doing a lot of spirited driving in that time, so it is quite a bit higher. So for me, it was really, really educational. It was really neat to see the two cars side by side and see the differences and see all the similarities and see him as proud of his car as I am of mine. And I mean, he has every right. It was a very beautiful car. And that is what it is all about. So no hating on the 2 liters. No trash talking them because they didn't buy the V8 or they didn't do this and they didn't do that. The car I was in was completely stock. With a few minor modifications, you can get great power out of the cars. So where is he losing? He's got a fun car at a lot less money than what I spent. And he's having as much fun as I am. And he's telling me how he's, keeping the RPMs up and keeping it in the boost zone and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't have any of that. I just kind of put the pedal down and she goes. So, I mean, there's even that. Like, there's learning how your car likes to be driven and pushing it and doing all that. And that's fun too. It's just different ways to achieve the same thing in the end. And you don't lose when it's just as much fun. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you think the 2 liters is the way to go? Do you think the V6? Or do you think the V8? Like, you're just a real traditionalist. And muscle cars have big burly engines. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. As always, have a fantastic day. Finally getting some snow, so get to see if these snow tires and the weight in the trunk is worth the money. So, take care, everybody.